Well, ladies and gentlemen, as indeed come to this, the main event of Battlecade VI, and your challenger, Slick Diddy, Ric Converse.
That's right, two-time former Mid-Atlantic heavyweight champion. It's come down to this, a steel cage, no disqualification, no time limit. These two men are finally going to put it to rest.
And your champion, the Mid-Atlantic heavyweight champion, the Mad Trucker, Garry Stevens.
Garry Stevens once again with the belt in hand. Notice in the right hand, the Billy Club, Little Billy as he's called.
Now, this feud has been rolling throughout in the entire year of 2005. It was way back on March the 26th. Ric Converse wasn't the most beloved man in the building then. Garry Stevens wanted a championship bout, and it led to one of the most chaotic scenes ever in the Carolina sports arena. It cleared out half the arena, the entire locker room, and as time continued, it led us to here today, December 17th, 2005, the ultimate final confrontation between Ric Converse and Garry Stevens, and you better believe it, it's for all the marbles. Not only is it for the Mid-Atlantic heavyweight title, but the winner of this contest will compete for the AWA World Heavyweight title on January 28th, when the winner of this bout steps into the ring with the king of old school, Steve Corino.
Tell you what, these two men have been going at it since the first of the year. They know each other very well. I mean, I've seen changes in the past few months with Converse, his attitude, the way he approaches a match. But then, is this not a surprise? The official in the ring is Morgan Dollar.
Yeah, the one catch to this match, which has me and many fans greatly concerned, Garry Stevens was able to handpick the official from this contest. He only handpicked someone from his hometown, someone he knows very well. An official by the name of Morgan Dollar. Not an official that is regularly seen in CWF Mid-Atlantic arenas. He's made a couple of appearances here and there, but a very unusual selection for Garry Stevens.
Well, he is indeed legally licensed to officiate CWF Mid-Atlantic championship matches by both CWF and the AWA. But it's like you said, we don't see him very frequently.
A lot of us, of course, were thinking Garry Stevens would handpick the obvious Michael McAllister to stack the odds in his favor. And I don't want to celebrate too soon the fact that it's Morgan Dollar, but I am very thankful that it is not Michael McAllister.
Yeah, Michael McAllister has been the driving force behind Garry Stevens holding on to this title. He has helped the man out, you know, in the ring, outside of the ring, in the locker room, in the legal boardroom. He has been able to switch around contracts and keep Ric Converse away from Garry Stevens. I mean, obviously, the $5,000 bounty, obviously he didn't pay it out.
Yeah, ever since Garry Stevens became the Mid-Atlantic heavyweight champion back on July 15th at Friday Night Fights 2 in a King of the Road match, Michael McAllister was pretty much to blame for Converse losing the title, and he has done everything that he can to try and make sure Garry Stevens retains it. Apparently the commissioner, from what I just caught, the commissioner is ordering that billy club that Garry Stevens carries around to not be in the cage tonight. The billy club apparently will not come into play, and this bout will end fair and square in the middle of the ring.
That's right. I tell you, this is what it's all about. This is what we've been waiting for. This is Battlecade VI. This is the granddaddy. This is the main event. The first time ever that we've had a steel cage erected inside the Carolina Sports Arena or in any CWF ring, for that matter, in the last 6 years. This is what it's all about. This is what it's come down to.
You know, a lot of people question why has there not been a cage match. It's because cage matches in 2005 are usually not what cage matches should be. This is an old school Mid-Atlantic heavyweight title match in a steel cage. You can't win by climbing over the top rope and touching the ground. You can only win by pinfall or submission. And let's listen to the words of Ric Converse and Garry Stevens.
That's it! Come on!
And Garry Stevens lands the first blow right across the face of Ric Converse, who leaps into the arms of Garry Stevens, hammering away on the cranium of the champ.
That's right. Converse back straight to the face, as he likes to say. Oh my goodness, these two are going right in the middle of the ring at each other. There is no love lost between these two men.
This could easily be the most physical war either of these two individuals have ever been in. Ric Converse blocks the steel cage. Garry Stevens was going for it early.
I tell you what, I heard rumor that somewhere back in the dressing room, Garry Stevens informed someone that he was taking the cage down tonight.
Yeah, that's what I understood. Garry Stevens, the cage is not going to be erected by that time this match is over, from what Garry Stevens has declared. I don't know how in the world he plans on bringing it down, but right now Ric Converse is trying to put him through it.
That's right, both men trying to keep from having their faces, their heads, any part of their body touching that unforgiven steel cage. And I'm going to tell you what, unforgiven too are the big chops of the mad trucker, Garry Stevens.
Yeah, this match is not going to be pretty. I'm willing to bet it's not going to be for the faint of heart. Ric Converse, a tremendous two-time former Mid-Atlantic heavyweight champion, trying to ascend the throne for a third occasion, a feat that has been very rarely accomplished. And Garry Stevens, a caged animal, a crazed caged animal, is looking to retain the title in the biggest match in either man's career.
And you notice so far what we've seen in the opening moments of this match is going very much by the script of one mad trucker, Garry Stevens. It's not high flying. He's got his opponent down. He's got both feet on the ground, and he's unloading on him.
He is welting the chest of Ric Converse. How many times in the past did we see Ric Flair in a Mid-Atlantic heavyweight title match inside a steel cage, chopping the skin right off of his opponent? That's the same thing that Garry Stevens is going to try to do here tonight on December 17th.
That's right. Looks like Converse has got a little of the spirit of Flair. He's going to light up the chest of a mad trucker. Mad trucker dancing away from that one. I believe he felt it.
Yeah, from Slick Rick to Slick Diddy, Ric Converse embodies the heritage of everything that was great, everything that was pure about the sport of professional wrestling. But right now, he's in there with his greatest adversary of all time, the mad trucker Garry Stevens.
And I tell you what, the weight itself, the body weight of Garry Stevens is his best ally right now. He is using every muscle in his body, every ounce of his body weight, trying to get the face of Slick Diddy Ric Converse disfigured in this unforgiving steel cage.
Yeah, Garry Stevens weighed in at some 327 pounds here tonight. Ric Converse 232 1/4, and Ric Converse obviously at a great weight disadvantage. Kicking, Garry Stevens is going to try and use everything to his advantage to somehow try and overcome the monster that has steamrolled through all competition since winning the title on July 15th.
That's right, Slick Diddy. I mean, it's been on his mind. It's the topic of conversation every waking moment since he lost that title. And I tell you, he would not have agreed to do a match like this to put his career on the line if he knew it wasn't for all the marbles.
Ric Converse raining those right hands down into the skull of Garry Stevens, and you know Ric Converse wants nothing more to do in this contest than make Garry Stevens taste his own blood.
Well, that's probably going to happen. I say that from cage matches I've been at ringside in the past, and you see Converse's head just went up against the steel right then. If you missed that, I mean, he is feeling it.
Yeah, he was able to block it somewhat though with his arm though. He only grazed the cage there. And once again, these two are obsessed with cramming one another's heads into that unforgiving mesh.
That's right. I'm telling you, first time ever in CWF Mid-Atlantic we've had a steel cage. Involuntary muscle spasm on part of the trucker got Converse's offense backtracked.
Yeah, that low blow is an automatic disqualification in CWF Mid-Atlantic rings, just like a pile driver, an automatic disqualification. But Garry Stevens knows full and well there is no disqualification inside a steel cage match.
Now, you called him a caged animal earlier. That has to be the scariest thing anybody, including referee Morgan Dollar, can do, is lock themselves inside a steel cage with Garry the Mad Trucker Stevens.
Yeah, you have to have something special, something extra, not only physically but mentally, to step in the ring with a man the likes of Garry Stevens.
You see the referee isn't even counting on this blatant chokehold. I mean, it's no DQ. He can count all day and it doesn't mean anything.
Yeah, Ric Converse could pass out right here and now. If he cannot get any oxygen, Ric Converse is going to have to break this choke somehow, some way. He's got to fight his way out of it, or his title dreams are going to be over right here and now.
Tell you what, I'm not sure. Trucker's got rolled over the top of Converse. Converse still in the world of hurt, trying to get his breath back, trying to get his bearings. And I mean, no matter where he looks, he sees steel cage. It
was a dark day on July 15th because no one really thought Ric Converse was going to lose the Mid-Atlantic heavyweight title. He was such a tremendous, just a great champion, and the writing just wasn't on the wall for him to lose it. And when he lost it, a lot of these people's hearts really dropped, and they have really pushed Ric Converse forth these past few months to try and reclaim that past glory.
You know, regardless of the outcome here tonight, Battlecade VI, when you get down to the record book, when you're looking back on history a few years down the road, the Mad Trucker's going to have a pretty good name in the record book as well.
Yeah, Garry Stevens turned out to be a greater Mid-Atlantic heavyweight champion than I think any of us ever dreamed. And you know, that title reign, who knows when it could end? It isn't necessarily going to end tonight. Garry Stevens could be walking into Battlecade 7 still as Mid-Atlantic heavyweight champion if he feels so desired.
Or Battlecade 8 or Battlecade 9.
The list goes on and on. You mentioned Garry Stevens going for really the first count, covering the contest, and if I'm not mistaken, that count by Morgan Dollar was a little speedier than what it should have been.
Well, you know, as long as he does the same speed for both, we can't have a complaint there. He's just got to be consistent. But right now, the only consistent thing is Ric Converse is in a world of pain.
Ric Converse just trying to fire back. Caught him with one good shot, another one into the abdomen there. Ric Converse trying to fire back, another one to the face. Finally, has the massive Mad Trucker reeling slightly, and a big chop levels the Mad Trucker.
And I tell you what, Converse put it all behind that. He's back off his feet again just from a chop. I mean, he put everything in it. He's going to roll over. Looks like he's going to go for a cover.
And here, let's see the count. No, come on, that's not even close. It's not even close to being the same kind of count.
Okay, Converse has to keep his mind on his opponent. He knows now where the referee stands. It's 2-on-1 inside a steel cage.
I can't say I'm exactly shocked, but I was hoping, you know, how many times in 2005 have we seen Ric Converse get screwed out of what seemed to be a sure victory? Will it be wrestling for the Mad Truckers Mid-Atlantic heavyweight title? Will it be wrestling for the 2005 Johnny Weaver Cup? Whatever it is, Ric Converse gets the shaft more often than not, and he's got to somehow come back on top, win this title bout here today, go into the Carino match as the Mid-Atlantic heavyweight champion.
You know, I believe what we're seeing in the ring right now, Converse on the second rope choking away at the Mad Trucker. I believe we're peeking into the past of Ric Converse here.
Yeah, Ric Converse didn't exactly walk the straight and narrow a few years ago. Ric Converse knew how to break a rule or two, and you better believe he's going to resort to those days when you're locked inside a steel cage.
Well, you know, Converse is still reeling. The Mad Trucker's got the upper hand. He's going to start up with some more chops. Converse back down on the canvas, struggling again, try to get back to his feet.
Yeah, you know both these men are going to be welted from head to toe by the time this one's over with. And did Rick catch the cage there? He may have blocked it somewhat with the turnbuckle. He definitely ate the turnbuckle on that one.
Tell you what, Converse needs to get away from the man a minute, needs to get his breath, because this trucker has got steel cage glint in his eye, and he's trying to put Converse into it.
Ric Converse trying to fire back. Ric Converse, this is Battlecade 6. Ric Converse has never lost at Battlecade. Battlecade in 2002, he successfully defended his cruiserweight title. And Battlecade 2003, 2004, both times he pinned Dangerous E. Corey Edsel to win the Mid-Atlantic Heavyweight title. Can he make it 4-0 at Battlecade here tonight?
I tell you what, he's got the deck stacked against him right now. The trucker is not afraid to use anything and everything he knows how to do to put pain right through the body of Slick Diddy Ric Converse, just like that stiff shot to the lower spine.
And then we go with what can Ric Converse do to actually pin Garry Stevens? Ric Converse has never lifted Garry Stevens up with the Richter scale. That's Ric Converse's signature maneuver, and he's never hit Garry Stevens with it without being able to lift that 300-plus pound monster onto his back. How is Ric Converse going to pin Garry?
Yeah, I know Converse came into this match with some sort of plan, some kind of game plan, some point that he's going to try to get this big mad trucker to where he can hit him with something to put an end to the match. But right now, from what we've seen so far, I have no clue what that is.
Yeah, I mean, brutal chop to the back. I mean, obviously the champion is at a huge advantage here from just the environment that they are in, a steel cage, from the size advantage to just the crazed mentality that it takes. Garry Stevens has the Vegas odds all locked up in this one.
That's right. I mean, we've been hearing from Minnesota all day about, well, who are we going to put Garry Stevens' title up against next, in January or in February of 2006. And, the match isn't over. It's sort of hard to do that either way, but the way things are going right now, the Mad Trucker looks like he's got Slick Diddy in the palm of his hand.
Yeah, Slick Diddy, Ric Converse. I mean, not only is a former Mid-Atlantic Heavyweight Champion, he is the uncrowned AWA World Heavyweight Champion. And if you want to argue that point, just go to Steve Corino himself and ask him, did Ric Converse take you to the limit? And he'll tell you, oh yeah, he did, because Steve Corino stood there on September 17th and said, Ric Converse, I'm sorry it went down like this, but you are the uncrowned AWA World Heavyweight Champion, and you know Ric Converse wants to meet that second date with Destiny on January the 28th. And of course, on the other hand, Garry Stevens and Steve Corino, there's no...
I'd pay to see that.
That would be an incredible bout.
I would definitely not have a problem paying to see either one of the two men in this ring right now facing Corino on the 28th. I mean, that's what it's all about. It's not just a title. It's a shot at the world title, the only true world heavyweight title in professional wrestling today.
Ric Converse measuring Garry Stevens, meets him with a forearm right upside the head coming in. Garry Stevens finally rocked back, but has Garry Stevens yet to be taken off his feet? Converse going for a slam! Oh! Collapses! Referee Morgan Dollar coming over, and so close. Even with the fast count, even with that sickening fast count, Garry Stevens was not able to keep Rick down.
I'll tell you what, Converse is struggling to keep from getting pinned. Looks like the referee's taking a little bit of harsh verbal abuse from the trucker at this point. Trucker's still sounding off to him, telling him to get down and count.
Oh, I don't think Garry Stevens has much to argue about. I mean, this is Garry Stevens' handpicked official. If you can't keep the shoulders of Slick Diddy down, it's not the official's fault. It's because you've got to stoop even lower, Garry.
And I tell you what, it only takes 3 seconds, a 1, 2, 3 count, and it's over. It's all over. I mean, look at Converse over here in the corner. He doesn't even appear to be trying to get up at this point. Is he hurt that bad?
Ric Converse certainly has got to be feeling the wear and tear of this one. But the one thing I'm thrilled about, well, the one thing I was thrilled about until we saw the officiating that we're getting handed, I felt in my heart that tonight at Battlecade VI, this contest would end fair and square. There would be no question about who is champion when this bout would be over. It would be undisputed. It would be clear as crystal. One of these men would definitely be the Mid-Atlantic Heavyweight Champion. But now with the actions of Morgan Dollar, I really have to question if we're going to get a fair and square rematch for Slick Diddy Ric Converse.
I tell you what, I believe Converse got a little bit of a lucky shot in on a kick just then, hurt the trucker a little bit more than he thought, so he's going to lay the boots to the ribs of the trucker. Now, this is the first time we've seen Trucker down when Converse is up.
Yeah, if Rick caught him with a low blow there, then so be it. You know, we're inside a steel cage match. Garry Stevens already took the cheap shot on Ric Converse earlier, so pay back, Garry Stevens. That's all I got to say.
Well, Stevens has got hold of the bottom rope, and he's doing everything he can to keep from, well, if it's no DQ, come on, it don't matter. He's not going to count anyway.
I don't know if... Can you have rope breaks in cage matches? Ric Converse is arguing that point. to Morgan Dollar right there. Morgan said a rope break is still a rope break, but I'm not so sure if a rope break is a rope break in a steel cage match.
Or in a no DQ steel cage match. Seems like...
Oh, Rick tasted it. Rick tasted the cage. Garry Stevens reversed Rick coming off the ropes, and Ric Converse, full steam ahead, is the first one to eat the cage tonight.
I tell you what, the Mad Trucker's all proud of himself for this one. He did what he said he was going to do. He said he was going to put Converse face first into the steel. He did it. I mean, if he rolls him over, pins him now, the match is over. He still holds on to that title, faces Carino, and tries to disfigure Converse.
Yeah, that could have been a golden opportunity for Garry Stevens to try and make a cover, but he did not do so. He's continuing to hammer away on Ric Converse. I think, from the impression I get, he's trying to pick Rick up to toss him into that cage once again, but Ric Converse is so out of it, he keeps collapsing to the canvas, and Garry Stevens could be going, not a Boston Crab, but he could be going for a Boston Crab here. Fighting it, Ric Converse fighting it.
Tell you what, Converse is squirming, doing everything he can. Trucker's going to use, catapult right into the steel.
Slingshots the face of Ric Converse straight into the mesh of the steel cage.
This is not good for Ric Converse. He needs to get up, needs to get his wits about him right now. He is dazed, he is stunned, and he is bleeding from the forehead.
Yes, the first war wounds have officially been opened up because you can see the blood trickling right above the eye there on Ric Converse's head.
Yeah, and the Trucker sees it too. You see right where he's going back to, straight to the face of Slick Diddy. Ric Converse back into the steel once again.
Yeah, the cage is water. Garry Stevens is the shark, and he smells the blood flowing on Ric Converse.
And I tell you what, Garry Stevens, he's got a killer instinct. We've known that since day one, since he appeared in the Mid-Atlantic ring as a tag team with Wild Shane West. But you look at him now, he's enjoying this. He has got his opponent hurt. This is why he wrestles. He likes hurting people.
Garry Stevens is going to take full advantage of the wound that's been opened up on the head of Ric Converse and trying to... Did he just bite into that? I believe Garry Stevens just spit out a wad of Ric Converse's blood into the crowd, which is as sickening as just about any sight I've ever seen. Morgan Dollar making the count, only able to get a two.
Wait a minute, whoa. Stevens was in the ropes. What happened to the rope break?
Oh, you're exactly right. I didn't even pick up on that, but Garry Stevens had a hold of the rope the entire time.
I just don't know about this. I mean, Converse has got it. Like I said earlier, it's 2-on-1 against Converse. What can he do? He's getting pummeled like a rag doll inside the center of the ring right now, and the Trucker's just happy as a guy going to work.
Ric Converse has history on his side, but he has been hurt, he has been wounded, and right now Garry Stevens, is Garry Stevens saying he's going up top? Are you kidding me?
What is the point? All he needs to do is pin the man. I mean, obviously like a 1.5 count would probably win the title back for him because of the, our official Mr. Dollar here, but Converse is struggling back up, trying to figure out what's going on over there.
Garry Stevens does not seem to be too at home on that top rope. I don't even know if he can turn himself around. I don't know what he's thinking going up there.
Oh my God.
Both men jockeying on the top rope, and Rick rammed Garry Stevens' head right into the top of the steel cage.
This is not going to be pretty. Converse is returning the favor, but he's not doing it in the flat part of the steel cage. He's doing it at the spikes on the top.
Ric Converse battling with Garry Stevens, shoves Stevens off, who collapses all the way down to the Converse. Converse now on the top rope, could be perched, looking to fly, giving the sign, Macho Man, elbow smash, no one home.
Converse comes down, no one's home. The Trucker seen him coming out of the way, timely maneuver. I tell you what, both men are hurt at this point. How much more can a man take, especially inside a steel cage?
Not that it matters now, but that little ode that Ric Converse did, his childhood hero growing up was indeed Randy Savage, and he loves to implore that Macho Man axe handle and elbow smash from time to time, but Ric Converse, those are days long since past. Ric Converse is now an 8-year veteran, and he's looking to win the Mid-Atlantic heavyweight title for a third occasion, but no one was home on that elbow. Garry Stevens, though. Garry Stevens is indeed busted open from those rams to the top of the steel cage, and Ric Converse is raining right hands down upon that cut.
Yeah, Converse going to put a little boots to it. Looks like he's looking back at the corner again. It's not like Converse to, stay on the ropes like that, but I think he wants to give the fans what they want to see.
I think Rick may be a little disoriented, but no, Garry Stevens full steam ahead into the steel cage. Garry Stevens is going to take the cage down. Ric Converse is going to take the cage down by ramming Garry into it.
Okay, Converse has got to stay focused. The champion is down. He's going to drop an elbow on him. Referee's down for the cover. We got a casual 1, a casual 2, and almost a casual 3.
I tell you one thing, I know no one is allowed inside the steel cage, but Commissioner Cross, I wish it wasn't too late. I wish there was something Commissioner Cross could do about this, because Ric Converse is never going to be able to win the title with this rate.
I tell you what, I don't know where it's going. Converse looks like he's got a second win. He has got the trucker hurt, but the trucker's still on his feet. I mean, well, there we go, down to the canvas. The trucker is able to keep getting up no matter what Converse does, but whenever the Converse takes a shot at the hand of the trucker, it's taking him a lot longer to get back up from it.
Ric Converse now measuring Garry Stevens, the wear and tear on both men's bodies, the blood flowing from both of them. You knew that this match was going to boil down to this, and it indeed has, as Ric Converse trying to go back to the steel cage, trying to punish Garry Stevens for all those sneak attacks, for all of those times he's been smacked with the billy club. It's time for Garry Stevens to taste the steel cage.
Garry Stevens is wearing the proverbial crimson mask. I don't know if he knows where he's at now. I know he knows he's in a fight. This is ugly.
This is a Mid-Atlantic heavyweight title match the way it should be. The blood, the guts, the heart, the soul, the determination. It's all going to be left laying on the canvas when this match is over and done with. One of these guys will be Mid-Atlantic heavyweight champion when it ends. But Morgan Dollar is doing everything in his power to ensure that the man that leaves as champion is the mad trucker, Garry Stevens.
Yeah, like I said, I've said so many times since this match has started, it's 2-on-1. But you look at the trucker is hurt, the trucker is bleeding, the trucker gets right back to his feet though. This is an amazing feat. Look at this.
Can you believe the look in the eyes of Garry Stevens? The crazed madman, blood pouring all over his face. Shoots Converse back first into the unforgiving cage.
I tell you what you're looking at, ladies and gentlemen, is you're looking at Slick Diddy Ric Converse playing with madness. That is the eye of madness. That is madness personified. The mad trucker Garry Stevens, stuck like a bleeding stuck pig. There's blood all over everywhere. He is still dishing out punishment to Converse.
I have no idea how Ric Converse kicked out of that. Even as Garry Stevens is making the cover, you can see Garry Stevens' own blood dripping all over Converse, covering Converse's chest while he's making the cover there.
I tell you what, Converse he's back up on his feet. You got to give it to Slick Diddy. No matter the outcome of this, he has been a true competitor in this, and he's still trying to get the face of the mad trucker back into the steel.
I think both guys may have ate the cage that time. Both of them. What in the world? Garry Stevens just tossed the official into the cage.
Oh my goodness, I believe Morgan Dollar tasted it too. But I mean, look at Stevens. I mean, he acts like the match is over. He's won it.
Garry Stevens looking to the heavens above, but he bears be looking towards Slick Diddy. Oh, head to head, and I believe Garry Stevens may have landed on the arm of Morgan Dollar. Not that that's going to make him count any faster.
I tell you what, even if Converse can get over on top of him, we don't have an official in the ring that can make the count. We got an official on the outside, but his only duty is Michael McAllister.
Get him out of here. Commissioner Cross, someone get McAllister out of here. He just shot that belly club straight into the cage, and what aim, shooting it right to the feet of the mad trucker.
Oh my goodness, I have seen this so many times. This is sickening. I cannot believe we're going to have to see it again. The mad trucker
look at the blood.
He knows that stick is in there in that cage somewhere. I'm not sure he can see through the blood to get to it.
Yeah.
Converse got it.
Oh, he nailed him right in the ear. He smashed Garry Stevens right in the ear with the billy club. Blood everywhere. The billy club has been smashed across the side of the head of Garry Stevens. Morgan Dollar still down in the corner. Oh my God, look at the pool of blood under the head of Garry Stevens.
This is the most gruesome sight I have ever seen in a professional wrestling ring in the Mid-Atlantic area since my childhood, and I'm talking about the 1960s. This is awful. I have never seen anything like this.
The fans of the Carolina Sports Arena in shock how Garry Stevens is going to be able to continue with the blood he has lost.
Wait a minute, Converse got
yeah! Breaking the face of Morgan Dollar straight across across the steel cage. He deserved every bit of it.
Oh my goodness, and I was concerned a moment ago whether Converse would be able to get back up. And what happens? The trucker is back up. He takes both men back down on the canvas. The referee writhing in pain.
Ric Converse laying in a pool of his own blood, laying in a pool of Garry Stevens' blood,
laying in the referee's blood.
Everyone busted wide open. The fans, the CSA, some on their feet, some in shock, some hiding their children's eyes as Garry Stevens going back. Oh, you want him to count now, Garry? You want him to count now?
Yeah, Garry needs a little help over here, so he's going to help the referee back to his feet. I'm not sure the referee knows where he's at. Wait a minute, Converse is back up on his feet, and the trucker's too busy playing with the referee to see it.
Converse, big elbow from behind, shoots Garry Stevens' head into the cage. Now Garry Stevens out.
He lifted him.
Body slams. Ric Converse somehow slammed the 300-plus pound mad trucker some 20 minutes, 25 minutes into the steel cage encounter. Converse now ascending to the top rope.
Converse to the top rope. Converse is going to do it. He's going Macho Man on us again.
Elbow, flying elbow. He nailed it. Come on, Morgan, count it!
1, 2, 3!
Ric Converse has done it! Ric Converse has won the Mid-Atlantic Heavyweight title for a third time!
What a night! Battlecade VI, December 17th, 2005. One of the most amazing nights of pro wrestling action I've ever seen. Wait a minute, Landell!
What, was that Ricky Landell we just saw?
He just attacked the referee outside the ring. Red Jones, he's got the cage open. What's he got?
Ricky Landell going wild. Ricky Landell has nothing to do with this. Ric Converse has just won the Mid-Atlantic Heavyweight title for a third time, only the fifth man in history to do so. And Ricky Landell taking out everyone outside the ring. Garry Stevens is holding onto the leg of Converse. Ricky Landell in the ring, putting the boots to Ric Converse after Ric Converse has just endured a 25-minute bloody war with the Mad Trucker.
I do not believe Converse saw the blonde hit the ring whatsoever. I believe Landell got in there behind his back. You know the Mad Trucker knew it was coming. You know Michael McAllister has got to be sitting around here laughing somewhere.
Oh, no. Garry Stevens is on his feet again. The Billy Club right into the abdomen of Ric Converse.
I tell you, it's amazing. I do not know how the trucker is on his feet at this point, much less dishing out this much more damage to our new AWA Mid-Atlantic Heavyweight Champion.
I don't understand what Ricky Landell's point of is even being here. Is this have something to do with the Carino match a month down the road? Because I guess it is official. It will be Converse Carino 2 on January the 28th, 2006. But right now, Ricky Landell, I guess he's trying to soften Converse up. And Garry Stevens, you want to help Ricky Landell? You think he would be doing the same thing to you if you had just won and retained the Mid-Atlantic Heavyweight title?
Yeah, it looks like Landell's pointing out for the trucker to beat on the referee some more. I don't think Morgan Dollar could get out of the cage right now if they were to open it. Converse just got dropped on a steel chair.
Ricky Landell implants Converse's head into a chair like Ric Converse hasn't gone through enough in this steel cage war. Garry Stevens pouring blood and watching Ricky Landell brutalize the new champion, handing over the Billy Club.
Oh my goodness, somebody's got to be able to get inside this cage. Something has got to happen. Ric Converse is going to get choked to death in the middle of this cage in front of the sold-out standing room only. Oh my goodness, now we got McAllister back out.
Yeah, Landell, I believe, did he lock the cage a while ago? No, McAllister is trying to lock the cage. McAllister is locking the cage, leaving Ric Converse alone, 2-on-1 in the ring with Garry Stevens and Ricky Landell as each and every fan of the CSA looks on in shock.
What has Landell got? He's got the mic.
Yeah, Ricky Landell can celebrate. Ricky Landell hasn't done a thing tonight. Yeah, he scored a pinfall over a youngster in the opener, and then he's brutalizing a champion that's just taken himself to the absolute limit. Ultra Dragon, Joey Sylvia, Matty D tried to get inside the cage, but it's already been locked. It's maybe too little, too late for Ric Converse battering Joey Sylvia off the cage. Matty and Dragon tried to climb the other side of the cage as Garry Stevens and Ricky Landell kicking the cage he's throwing a chair right at Dragon.
This is one of the scariest pictures you will ever see in your life. The Mad Trucker bloody battered with Little Billy in one hand, a steel chair in the other. And what's this? What is this?
Ric Converse needs some serious help. Ric Converse could be seriously injured here if someone doesn't get in there and help Ric Converse.
What is that Landell has? He's rubbing Converse's face in.
I have no idea what's in that hand, the hand of Ricky Landell, but he's brutalizing Converse with it, whatever it is, trying to break the lock. I don't think that chair's going to get the job done, but what else can they do?
I tell you what, the Mad Trucker seems to be in control of the whole situation right now. Converse is down, has no clue where he's at, our new Mid-Atlantic champion. But look, Landell is not finished. The guys can't get in through the door. They can't get in over the cage because every time they go up, somebody hits them with a stick or a steel chair.
These fans are screaming for someone to try and get in and help Ric Converse. No one can get inside this steel cage. Landell and Garry Stevens warding him off at every pass.
I tell you, this is unreal. Landell standing tall over slick Diddy Ric Converse. The Mad Trucker patrolling the ring with a stick in his hand, daring anybody to try to come in.
God only knows what kind of shape Ric Converse will be in come January 28th, and right now I'm kind of scared. Will Ric Converse even ever make a title defense? Because if someone doesn't save him soon, we could be seeing a title forfeit in just a couple weeks down the line at New Year's Knockout. Someone has got to save the body of Ric Converse because he cannot do anything himself.
Hold on. What is that title belt in the ring? What belt is that? That is not the Mid-Atlantic title.
Is it not the Mid-Atlantic heavyweight title?
No, it's not the Mid-Atlantic title. It's a gold belt.
Was that the AWA World title?
I believe that is the AWA World Heavyweight title belt.
Did Ricky Landell bring in the world title as a message? Finally, some bolt cutters from Commissioner Cross gets that cage unlocked. Joey Sylvia standing over Ric Converse.
Look, the Trucker's using the dazed referee as a shield.
Ricky Landell warding everyone off with that chair. I think Garry Stevens gave Morgan Dollar another shot. The fans here almost ready to riot at Garry Stevens and Ricky Landell, who's heading to the back. Commissioner Cross ordering them to the back. And finally, Sylvia, Matty, Dragon, Jesse Ortega there, finally coming to the aid of Ric Converse.
I tell you, this has been an amazing night of pro wrestling action. Battlecade VI, December 17th, 2005. We have a new Mid-Atlantic heavyweight champion for the very third time in his career, Slick Diddy, Ric Converse.
Ricky Steamboat didn't do it. Johnny Valentine didn't. Greg Valentine didn't. Roddy Piper, Paul Jones, Dory Funk Jr., none of them could do it. But tonight, Ric Converse has done something only 5 men in history have done, and that's win the Mid-Atlantic heavyweight title for a third time.
First time in over 21 years. This is amazing. You got to see it here on CWF Mid-Atlantic. Hey, this is great. This is what it's all about. I just don't know what happens from here. We know the 28th Converse faces Carino.
That's exactly right. Keep up with all the CWF action, CWFMidAtlantic.com, and get your CWF Mid-Atlantic DVDs at CWFShopZone.com. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us for Battlecade VI. Hopefully we're going to have some words from the new champion.
That's right. This is CWF Mid-Atlantic. Folks, we're bringing the eyes of the wrestling world back to the Mid-Atlantic area. Good night.
Believe again.
Mid-Atlantic heavyweight champion, you're the #1 contender. And you get that shot in January 28th.
Right there. That's it.
That's what it's all about.
3 times.
Correct.
Right. Third time. Ever since July when I got cheated out of this title, it's been on my mind day and night to get it back where it belonged. Because I got cheated out of it. Everybody saw it. That's right. I'm the #1 man in the Mid-Atlantic area. And when you got this belt right here, all it does is stamp it on that I'm the #1 man. And as far as my world title shot with Steve Corino, Ricky Landell, you thought you'd be able to soften me up a little bit because you're nothing but a second-rate lackey for Corino anyway. But it just didn't work, man. I'm gonna bring it to Corino like I did in September, and I'm gonna leave not only the Mid-Atlantic Heavyweight Champion, but I'm gonna leave the AWA World Heavyweight Champion. Hit the music.
Ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank each and every one of you again for coming out. Please have a very Merry Christmas. We'll be right back here on January 7th for New Year's Knockout. And I tell you what, I saw what the Boogeyman has to put up with.
Slick Ric Converse, let me tell you something, boy. Oh, I forgot it, Slick Diddy. You run the city. Well, let me tell you something. The man trucker runs the highways, baby. This says, this is just getting started. You busted me wide open, you don't see me crying. There ain't no brains running out, because I ain't got none. Look at these headlights. There ain't nobody home, you fool. I'm gonna kill you, Converse. Me and little Billy, if I ever find him, we're gonna kill you, Converse. I promise. I promise. Because I am Garry Stevens, the mad trucker, and I'm one big bad mother trucker.
It's about time.
This title only belongs around one person's waist. Everybody saw it tonight. What a match. That's the kind of matches right there where people become legends. You know, I'll give it to Garry Stevens. He's probably the toughest man I've ever wrestled. But he's got to do the same thing. He's got to give it to me for bringing it to him the way I did to get back this title. Oh, man. World title shot coming up. It just keeps getting better and better. Running the city. That's all I got to say.